You've read the book, you highlighted the good parts, you felt inspired. 2 weeks later, you can't remember a single thing from it. That's not a memory problem. That's a method problem. And today, I'm going to show you exactly how to fix it, using the science of how your brain actually stores information. Here's what most people do when they read. They read passively. They move their eyes across the page, they feel like they're absorbing things, and they move on. But passive reading is almost useless for long-term retention. The brain does not store information just because you encountered it. It stores information because you needed it, repeatedly, over time, with effort. Reading without a system is like pouring water into a bucket with holes. It feels productive in the moment, but almost nothing stays. In the 1880s, German psychologist Hermann Ebbinghaus ran an experiment on himself. He memorized lists of nonsense syllables and tracked how quickly he forgot them. What he found became one of the most important discoveries in the history of learning science. He called it the forgetting curve. Within 1 hour of learning something new, you forget roughly 50% of it. Within 24 hours, that number climbs to 70%. By the end of the week, you've lost close to 90%, unless you do something to stop it. That something is called spaced repetition, the practice of reviewing information at increasing intervals over time. Each review resets the forgetting curve, and each reset makes the memory stronger and longer lasting than the one before. But spaced repetition alone isn't enough, because the way you review matters just as much as when you review. In 2006, psychologists Henry Roediger and Jeffrey Karpicke published a landmark study at Washington University. They split students into two groups. One group reread their notes repeatedly. The other group closed their notes and tried to recall what they'd learned, with no help. The recall group retained 50% more information 1 week later. This is called the testing effect, or retrieval practice. And it works because the act of trying to remember something, even when it's hard, is what forces the brain to strengthen that memory. Rereading feels productive. Active recall actually is. So here is exactly what to do. 3 steps starting from the moment you open a book. Step 1. Read with a question in mind. Before you start a chapter, write down one thing you want to understand by the end. This primes your brain to filter for relevant information and dramatically improves encoding from the first sentence. Step 2. After each chapter, close the book and write. Write in your own words the 3 most important things you just learned. Don't check your highlights. Don't reread. Retrieve. This single habit activates the testing effect on every reading session. Step 3. Review at spaced intervals. The same day, then 3 days later, then 1 week later, then 1 month later. Each review takes 5 minutes. You're not rereading the book, you're just asking yourself, what do I remember? What still feels fuzzy? What connects to something else I know? That is the entire system. It is not complicated. It just requires you to do the one thing passive readers never do. Make your brain work for the information instead of handing it over for free. Reading more books was never the goal. Retaining what you read and actually using it, that's the goal. The science has been there for over 100 years. Ebbinghaus showed us we forget almost everything. Roediger and Karpicke showed us how to stop it. All that's left is to actually do it.